Let me go real quick since you brought me up. Hold on 1 second, Maverick. Hold on 1 second. Since you brought me up, Amanda, I'm glad that you brought up Smith versus State for provoking the difficulty and Hughes versus State for provoking the difficulty. So you cited a case from 2004 and 2007. However, I like to use the most recent case that was provoking the difficulty was decided a case from February of 2020 that cited both the Smith case and the Hughes case, where the Court of Criminal Appeals simply stated that because Mr. Elizondo on the third element of provocation did not know or seek out the person that he unalived, that he did not in fact have a pretext to inflict harm on him. And we know from the arrest report and from witness statements and from interviews given by both Hunter and other individuals, like his father, even though it was hearsay, that Karmelo did not know the Austin or Hunter. Therefore, he did not create a ruse to unalive him because he simply didn't know him, and he also simply did not approach them. They approached him. Therefore, the third element, according to the Court of Criminal Appeals in Texas in 2020, not 04 and not 07, stated that the provocation instruction to the jury was therefore a error by the trial court and it was remanded. Go ahead, Maverick.
Yeah, I noticed that touch me and see what happens is obviously misunderstood. So I want to talk about defensive posturing. That kind of statement is often a preemptive statement that's made by someone who feels like they're cornered, intimidated, or threatened. Statement is often a preemptive statement that's made by someone who feels like they're cornered, intimidated, or threatened. You've heard of fight or flight. When people are afraid, they definitely may respond with fight instead of flight, especially if they feel that getting away from the threat is not an option. In adolescence, especially, the fear response can show up as verbal aggression, just like the statement that Karmelo made. If we're talking about in criminal law, I can argue that the statement shows he's not acting in malicious intent, but that he actually perceived a threat. And if you're saying he acted with premeditation, then you're going to have to counter that with what you find to be intent in this case.
I would like to add that Penal Code 9.04 allows you to make statements that are meant to deter an attack against you. And touch me and see what happens is exactly that. I do not want you to touch me. Also, I want to say that what Karmelo said he said is exactly that. Do not touch me. That is his statement. That was not provocation. That was actually a call for them to leave him alone.
I just wanted to say
great,
this.
Miss Maverick.
Hold on real quick.
Hold on, Jigga, before I lose my train of thought.
Hold on real quick.
Let me get in this
real quick. I'm going to say two things. We're playing chess with babies up here. This is hilarious. Go ahead.
Okay. So what I do want to say, what you perceive as street logic, street wording, is not going to be perceived in the courts in trial, okay? You have to give a clear warning of what your intent is. If you plan on using unaliving force on somebody, you have to let them know if they touch you, this is what they're going to get, okay? At the end of the day, just leaving an open-ended statement, touch me and see, as most teenagers would take on as a challenge to fight, is not going to be the winning debate on that, okay?
V, why are you cooking right now?
You have to understand that you have to give a clear warning, right? If I have a pew-pew and I tell you, touch me and see, and you just thinking we're going to scrap it out and I pull out my pew-pew, I'm not justified in any way. Even if you tell me I'm going to unalive you.
I'm going to lay you right there, V.
My mama, everything.
I'm gonna lay you right there. Go ahead, Amanda. You got it.
Unfortunately, Miss Maverick, your little fight or flight doesn't really work here because the gentleman who brought the poker to school and unalived someone in the broad daylight, he was offensive at that point. He escalated the encounter. He never attempted to withdraw, and he brought a poker to a school event. The law cares more about his actions than his internal fear. So he's not a little kid on the side of the road who was being attacked, right?
Why are you doing it like that, Amanda?
He showed up to the school with a poker. He premeditatively...
Bayboy in the back crying right now.
Whipped the poker out of his book bag and unalived Austin Metcalf in the middle of the day with an illegal weapon with full intent, and he left him there to unalive in his brother's arms.
We're going to land you right there. Fact checker.